loves, it's Darlene. Welcome to our first session in the Fashion Framework series. I'm so excited to share with you the process of taking a fashion design concept through the concept process into development. Hi. Hi, I'm Darlene.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks. Jordan, nice to meet you. Hi, Ollie. Good to see you again. Hi, Annie. Good to see you again. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I know we have a couple of participants online. Hello, online. Thank you for being here. We are so excited to share with you the concept and the process through which really any art and any design can be taken through this process. I specifically focus on fashion design because that's what I do. I consider myself a sculptor of fabric, and I really work and think about how to take fabric and mold it around the human body. And fashion is really important to me. And fashion is really important to me because cloth is the only thing between me and my environment. When I am out in the world and I'm interacting with the world, the only thing that physically protects me, that is between me and you, is the cloth that I have wrapped around my body. And I'm really, it's really important to me that the cloth that's wrapped around my body was treated well by human hands and has been taken from the environment in a way that is ethical and sensible. I don't want the thing that's touching my body, that is absorbing into my skin, to be something that's absorbing negative energy. I don't want the thing that's absorbing into my body to be toxic to the environment. I want it to be something that is kind and ethical. I want the people who have been touching the things that are on my body to have been treated well. I want the hands that are working on the things that are around my body to be happy hands. So everything I do as a fashion designer and everything that I work with as a fashion designer comes back to, did I treat the human hands well? Did I treat my environment well? And am I treating the person who's wearing it well? Because we all know how a really good outfit can change your day. You know, it's hard to have a bad day in these boots, right? I can't have a bad day in these boots. And when I'm wearing one of my crowns, right, it is hard to have a bad day. So I specifically focus on fashion because that's what I do and that's my medium. However, this process can be used for any type of art, any type of design, any type of concept that we're developing, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about who I am and a little bit about my background. And again, the only reason I do this is so that you guys know that the person that you're learning from has been in it. The only reason I'm taking you through this process is so that you understand that I'm in the trenches too. I'm digging it out too. I've been there, I've done it. I'm Darlene. My middle initial C is my mother's name. It's very important to me. I miss her every day. And so I use her middle initial to honor her. I am a designer, a creative director, a product developer. I am also a teacher, an author, a mentor, and a coach. I started my fashion design career in New York in 1995. I was an assistant designer for a lot of private label companies. The one that you guys probably know is Uniqlo. I was hired by a New York company to open their LA office. So I moved to LA, was in LA when my son was born and knew I didn't want to raise him in LA. And it was in LA that I fell in love with teaching. And I started teaching formally in LA and then moved to San Diego because it was a better environment to raise my son. I was in San Diego when a position here in Colorado opened up, and Colorado is my home state. I was born and raised here in Colorado, so the idea of coming home was pretty exciting. I've been back here in Colorado. I have shown in New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, and Denver Fashion Week, among a ton of other fashion shows. I've worked in large corporations, I've worked in startups, I've worked in education, and it's been just a tremendous journey along the way. One of the things, you know, when I started in formal education, I realized I needed to go back and make sure that I was formally educated. I had my bachelor's degree in fashion design, but I thought that a marketing degree would supplement that, so I went back and got a master's in marketing, and then kind of fell in love with the education process a little more, and went back again and got a doctorate in organizational leadership. So I'm formally educated and I am experienced and have done this work for a long time. Again, the only reason I share all of that with you all is so that you know that the person who's standing up in front of you, I know what I'm talking about. Like, not just because I'm arrogant, but because I know what I'm talking about, right? So, when I came back to Colorado and I started teaching here in Colorado and I started looking around at the Colorado fashion scene and seeing what was happening in Colorado, I kind of started showcasing my own designs again just to sort of open doors for students and to sort of make a way for students to get into some of the shows that were happening in Colorado. And it's worked. A lot of my former students are now showing all across Colorado, and that's been awesome. And in the process, I remembered my own design voice. In the process, I remembered that I had something to say, and that my career in mentoring and helping others find their voice was something I wanted to continue to do, but I also wanted to bring my voice to the table because I believe really strongly that every body is beautiful. I believe really strongly that clothes should fit us and that we should not have to change who we are to be fashionable. Thank you. I believe really strongly that fabric is malleable and I shouldn't have to adjust who I am to be able to appreciate that. In the process of showcasing in order to open design doors for other students, I realized that that was not being said often enough. Part of the reason I got into the fashion industry is, you know, I'm 5'2". I've never been tall, I've never been thin, I'm never going to be. But I know what a good outfit can do, and I know how a good outfit can change my day. So I got into the industry because back in the 80s and 90s, when flat butts were the scene, I was nothing, and I knew that that wasn't right, that clothes should fit me. So I got into the industry because I wanted you all to not have to feel that. I wanted you all to not have to feel like you weren't enough because your body was not the ideal, or what the fashion industry called the ideal, right? Because we are all beautiful. We are all stunning. We are all living in our own skin, and what our bodies can do is phenomenal. You know, the fact that I'm even standing up straight right now is phenomenal. The idea that my body can climb a mountain or all the crazy things my body can do is phenomenal, and that is beautiful, and we should appreciate that in and of itself. So through the process, I found my design voice, and I realized that the industry needed to hear this, that I needed to add my voice to those that were saying that we are, all of us, each of us, beautiful and gorgeous and phenomenal in who we are. And I don't have to change who I am to be that, because I am already that. And you are already that. Look me in the eye. You are already that. You are already that. You are already that. You are already that. So, that's my design voice, and that's where I come from. Let's talk a little bit about. So I went to New York Fashion Week in September. And New York Fashion Week in September changed my life. And I want to tell you guys a little bit of the story behind it. And the reason why I want to share this story with you is because I think hearing this story might help you all get to that place where when it happens, you can be ready. Okay? So I was working with a private client, and I had developed a product line for this private client, and my name was nowhere on it. It was an individual client, and we were supposed to take one of their collections to New York Fashion Week. New York Fashion Week, the date that we had planned was September 11th. In August, about a month before the show, the client decided that they didn't want to go. They decided that New York Fashion Week wasn't for them, and they pulled out of the show. We were going to lose our money. It was already paid for. And I thought, you know what? I'll just take DCR Studios. I'll just take my private collection a month before the show. Why I thought that producing an entire new collection in 1 month would be a good idea, I don't know. The point of the story is that when the opportunity comes, be ready. When the opportunity comes, don't say no. You know, when it is so clearly in front of you, and when the universe is saying, here you go, you know that gift you've always wanted? Pick it up. Regardless of whether you think you have time, regardless of whether you think you are ready, pick up that present, because the universe is giving it to you for a reason. I want to share with you guys a little bit about what happened at New York Fashion Week, because I want you to have an understanding of what this did for me. Now, take a real good look at this photo, because I'm going to show you an inspirational photo that led directly to this look. Right? Is that a killer opening? And do you see how it moved right into the next outfit? I love that sass with the hair.